It's been 1 year since the release of God of War Ragnarök, and frankly, that fact blows my tiny little mind. If you know me, you'll know how impactful this game is, so I wanted to take a moment to reflect on what a crazy year it's been and how this game changed my life. If you're not familiar with me, hi, I'm Abby, better known as Opalink Cosplay. I've been cosplaying for nearly 10 years, and I first cosplayed Atreus back in 2019 with one of my best friends, Jono, as Kratos. I challenged myself to make both of these costumes, and once they were complete, we filmed a lovely little cinematic video with the amazing Electro Spectrum. After that, the cosplays kind of blew up. People loved it, we even made the front page of Reddit at one point, and most importantly, the God of War fandom was just so welcoming. Everyone was just so kind, and I had so much fun chatting to people that wanted to learn more about the costumes and us. And then the wonderful Santa Monica studio team actually reached out to us and offered to send us some goodies to appreciate the video, and I still have everything from that box, and I treasure all of them so much. I still even have the original letter they sent to me. But Abby, I hear you cry, where does God of War Ragnarök specifically come into this? Well, last summer I received an email from Santa Monica Studio asking if I wanted to collab with them on a project making Atreus for the release of God of War Ragnarök. I had already set my heart on making Atreus' new outfit from the trailers, so receiving that email was just mind-blowing, and I remember just freaking the heck out. It had always been a dream to work on a cosplay project with a game studio, and this was my first time ever doing it, so to do it with a character that I loved so much with such a kind studio was just, it was amazing, and it was such an honour. Like, it truly was the dream for me, and still like is, you know, I don't think anything can top that. And fun fact, I love Atreus' tattoos, and I'd always procrastinated getting one, but I actually made a pact with myself that if Santa Monica Studio ever reached out to collab on some sort of project, that I would get Atreus' neck tattoo, and well, here we are. And so began months of hard work. I crunched so hard on that costume. I taught myself so many new skills, and I learned so much, and to this day I still consider it the best thing I've ever made, and I think it's probably the best thing I'm going to make in a while. Like, I made that. It was so much fun that Jono also got asked to make Kratos, so we got to work on these projects side by side, and then eventually we got to do, obviously, the official photo shoot for the photos that Santa Monica Studio and PlayStation would share. That photo shoot was so much fun. I had the best time at that shoot. After about 5 months of really heavy secrecy and NDAs, we finally got to share what we had been working on. And just like the first time I shared my Atreus cosplay online, I was so overwhelmed with just how kind the community was about this project. Like, people were genuinely so proud and so complimentary in reaching out and just saying congratulations. Like, so many of my God of War mutuals got excited that I'd been given this opportunity, and I was so appreciative of that. I've never experienced that, where people have just been so genuinely kind en masse like that, and I just remember being so overwhelmed by just how lovely people were. Getting to be like an official representation of a character that I loved so much was just such an honour, and I'm so thankful to everyone that supported that from the very beginning. What's even wilder is a year ago today, I was actually in LA to celebrate the release of God of War Ragnarök with the team itself. PlayStation flew us out to LA for the week, and we actually got to sit down and have lunch with some of the lead creatives on these games. I was just casually having lunch with Cory Barlog, Eric Williams, Raf Grassetti, Della Longfish, and the amazing community team. It was such a surreal moment because everyone was so kind, and it just felt like people I'd known for years. I cannot express just how honoured I was. And as someone that now works in games and really wants to work in AAA games when I'm older, getting to sit amongst these creative giants and just hear their stories about the dev on this was... There aren't words. There genuinely aren't words. It doesn't even stop there, because we then got to attend the launch party for God of War Ragnarök. In our cosplays, we were walking around the LA Olympic Stadium in full Kratos and Atreus cosplays, surrounded by the incredibly talented creative team and cast, getting to meet so many of the amazing devs that I'd been chatting to online for years, posing for hundreds of photos, and just getting to celebrate the launch of this title. It was just so special, and I remember standing in the middle of that stadium and just thinking to myself, like, this is it. This is what every cosplayer I say would strive for. I can honestly and wholeheartedly say with my entire being, that was the best week of my life, and I am so thankful to everyone we got to hang out with, even if it was for a short time. You are all just so amazing, and we cannot thank you enough for letting us be a part of that in even a small little way. And I flew home and actually got to play the game. Ragnarok as a story was pretty much everything I wanted it to be. We got so much Atreus content, and that first moment where you get to play as him, oh my god, I lost my shit. I will happily say that. I remember having multiple conversations with different devs in LA about where I wanted the story to go and what I wanted to see, and every single thing I listed happened. So hey, if you guys ever need a little British nerdy writer to be part of the team, hit me up. I fell in love with the world of God of War all over again, and getting to discover new characters whilst delving into the backstories of others we already loved was just so cool. It was great, and I loved how big the world was and exploring all the realms. Oh, I wish I could just wipe my memory and go back and play it again for the first time. And then we go into 2023. Where cosplaying from God of War has still managed to give me some incredible opportunities. In April, I was just casually invited by the amazingly talented Alana Pierce to fly out to Florida for Creator Clash 2. For those unfamiliar, Creator Clash is basically a huge boxing event where some of the biggest content creators in the world come together to box it out, and it's all in the name of charity. I had the pleasure of walking Alana out because she did a God of War themed walkout into a stadium full of over 20,000 people, not to mention the hundreds of thousands of people watching the YouTube live stream. That week was so overwhelming in every way. I got to meet some of my favourite content creators that I'd grown up watching, like the entire Critical Role cast. And getting to experience such a special event in person that was being done for such a good cause was just really special. But one of my favourite experiences from that week was actually getting to walk out alongside the amazingly talented Jessica Negri. Both Jess and Ryan are some of the most kind and lovely people I've met in the cosplay community, and instantly it just felt like old friends, and they were so amazing, and I am very honoured that I got to walk out as Atreus alongside her Freya. The stunning craftsmanship on that costume was such a sight to behold in person, and I just kept fangirling the whole time. It was just great. Jess, I love you and I miss you, and same time next year, right? Speaking of God of War cosplay awesomeness, the most recent cool thing I've got up to, I travelled out to Belgium to join 12 other incredible God of War cosplayers for a huge photo shoot. Being involved in a big God of War shoot with like multiple characters has been the dream since I first cosplayed Atreus back in 2019, and honestly this weekend could not have been better. It was so much fun, from exploring the city of Brussels to climbing to the top of an old castle dressed as Atreus. We laughed non-stop, and it was truly such a special experience to meet so many mutuals that I'd been chatting to for years within the God of War cosplay space. Getting to see everyone's costumes in person that they'd worked so hard on, I spent so much time just staring at people's costumes and just admiring the craftsmanship, because man, God of War cosplayers are just so talented. We do so much. And I really hope this isn't the last time we all get to hang out together, because it was just so awesome. And once again, Santa Monica Studio were kind enough to send us out some goodies. The kindness of these guys knows no bounds. I could easily talk about this game and this studio for hours, but my main takeaway, I have never met a more creative, kind-hearted, passionate group than that of Santa Monica Studio and the God of War fandom in general. The run-up to the release of Ragnarok was genuinely such a special time within the fandom, and the fact I even got to be a tiny part of that hype and of the release will forever be something I cherish. I own so much God of War merch at this point, most of which was gifted by Santa Monica Studio and PlayStation. But all of it sits in my office, so every day I can look at it, and it reminds me of such a special time in my life, and that creativity knows no bounds, and most importantly, it reminds me, in the words of Kratos, to be better. I can't wait to see where this world and these characters go in the future, and I really hope this isn't the last we see of Atreus, and Kratos, I guess. And if there's one thing you can be sure of, I'll be right there with the rest of the fandom, excited to pick up whatever comes next. So happy 1 year anniversary, God of War Ragnarok.